From where we left off last time. We'll continue reading in the sittings in the month of Ramadan. And last time we were discussing that fasting is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the fasting is now obligatory upon the fasting person to rectify his intention within his fast, making it purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And he must intend to draw closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Likewise, he is also to safeguard his tongue from impermissible speech, such as backbiting, tale-carrying, abuse, cursing, and every false statement. That the fasting is not just to refrain from the food and the drink, but rather the whole body needs to fast, which means all of these things the person needs to stay away from. Even though these things are impermissible year-round, they're impermissible. The things that we just mentioned, your backbiting, tale-carrying, abuse, cursing, and false statements, they're impermissible year-round, but the prohibition is greater and the sin is more heinous while one is fasting. This is because it damages one's fast. Likewise, one must also safeguard his vision from looking at what Allah has prohibited, such as looking at women, or women looking at men, or looking at enticing images and inappropriate shows by way of videos and the television. So one is to guard oneself from these things. So he safeguards his vision from looking at these things at all times. However, while he is fasting, these things are more heinous, for they corrupt the person's fast. Perhaps the fasting person will fast and his hunger, thirst, and fatigue will be intense. But he has no reward with Allah because his tongue gained mastery over him by way of impermissible speech, and his vision gained mastery over him by way of looking at what is impermissible, and his ears gained mastery over him by way of listening to what is impermissible. Therefore, in reality, he has not fasted. So the one who listens or who watches or hears these things that are talks in terms of speech, things that are impermissible, in reality, that person has not fasted. He has only abandoned food and drink. Therefore, he has worn himself out to no avail. Hence, fasting comprises all of these things: fasting of the stomach from food, drink, and the rest of that which nullifies the fast, as well as the fasting of the hearing from every impermissible speech, and the fasting of the vision from everything that Allah has made impermissible to look at, and the fasting of the tongue from speaking with lewdness and sin. Therefore, one's entire body fasts. Also, one's hands and feet fast from walking towards what Allah has prohibited and touching and striking what Allah has prohibited. Therefore, it comes to tell us, or it comes to show us, that fasting is a tremendous worship. And we will stop here today and bi'idhnillah continue in the next sitting. Jazakallah khair.